Hi, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Married Clinic Live. How are you today? I remain your host, Marlaya and Oputi. Thank you so much for joining us today on this edition. Please do remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we promise to bring you more interesting video, and do click on the like button if you do like this video, and leave us a comment as well. So today we'll be looking at the topic, the importance of good communication in marriage. The importance of good communication in marriage. See, in marriage, um the importance of good communication cannot be overemphasized. As a matter of fact, once you get married, you will be doing more communication than you will be having sex. I think you will be doing maybe 20% of sex and 80% of communication on a daily basis. Once you wake up in the morning, you start, with communication. Even if you start out with sex, you will still have to do a lot more communication, you know, throughout that day. So what does that tell you? If you are going to be spending 80% of your time communicating every day with your spouse than both of you would have sex, then that should tell you that you should learn how to communicate in a good and proper manner. Now, some of us are still struggling in that area as spouses, because on Married Clinic platform, I get quite a number of complaints from people saying, you know what, you won't even hear me, she won't even listen to me. One even said, oh, if I don't shout, if I don't scream, she cannot hear me, she won't listen to what I have to say. And a lady was even telling me that, well, for me, if he doesn't shout, he doesn't scream, then I don't think it's important to him. But, when he says it normally, I feel like, oh, it's not important to him. But until I see him scream and shout, about it before, when talking to me about it, before I admit or realize that he's being serious about it. And I said, what? That's abnormal. I mean, communication should be done in a friendly manner. You didn't have to shout and scream, before you can communicate to your spouse and they will hear what you have to say. I mean, it has a negative effect, or it would have a negative impact on your health if you keep shouting, at the top of your voice before you can communicate. If you have to scream, you have to shout, you have to eat things, on the table, on the wall, slam the doors before you communicate, then there is a problem. You need to learn to use your mouth to do the communication, and not by breaking things around you, slamming things, shouting and screaming. Oh, when we are not in a madhouse. So I felt that it is important that we talk about this. So what is communication? Because see, communication is not communication until the other person, accept what you have said, or listen to what you have said, and they accepted that they heard you. So you can't tell me, oh, you are just talking, you're busy talking over his head, or you're busy talking over her head, and they are not even though it seems they are there, but they are not even listening. They don't even understand what you have just said, and that is not communication. So the importance of communication in marriage cannot be overemphasized, because it's part of what will bring the bonding that you need in that marriage. It's part of what will cultivate the love between the both of you, when you can communicate well in an acceptable manner and appropriately. Now, some of us don't know how to communicate well in an acceptable manner to our spouses. I mean, we struggle when it comes to that, and that is why some of the spouses will complain and say, I don't like the way she talks to me. I don't like the way he talks to me. I don't like it when he screams at me. I don't like it when she talks down at me in the presence of people. I don't. So you hear this complaint over and over and over again. So what should that tell you? That tells you that you need to adjust the way you communicate with your spouse. So one of the ways you need to learn how to communicate with your spouse is to learn to communicate with him or her in an acceptable manner. An acceptable manner. So, for example, if your spouse is the type that do not like you to shout at them when communicating, then that means it is unacceptable to them for you to be talking to them and be shouting. They don't like it. So if that is unacceptable to them, then that should tell you that method for them is unacceptable, is primitive, they don't want it, they don't like it. So you have to change that method. You have to discard that shouting method and pick up a new method, which is the approach they want. They want you to speak normally, they want you to speak in a peaceful manner. So it has to be acceptable. Now, if your partner is the type that he or she doesn't like you talking to them in the presence of others or in the presence of your children or discussing important things with them, in the presence of people, then that means it's unacceptable to them for you to be discussing or bringing up important issues to them before visitors or even before the children or whoever lives in the house with you. So if they are the private type that they would rather prefer that you come to the room and have that important discussion with them, then what is acceptable to them is for you to do such communication or discussion in private. So privacy matters to them. So you need to learn what method or what style does your spouse like. So if he or she is the private type, then please go into your private room to have that conversation, to have that discussion when nobody will be there. You don't go having important discussion, important, conversation, before others with your spouse, maybe before your in-laws that lives with you, before the children, before the nannies, before the housemaid. No, you don't go doing that. You have to wait till you guys are in your bedroom or somewhere private, then you bring up the discussion. So, like I said, it has to be in an acceptable manner. So, find out what is acceptable to your husband and what is acceptable to your wife. Don't say, I'm the man. She does not have anything to say. Please, it's what I have to say. She needs to listen to. Excuse me, please. So long you chose to marry her, she is a partner, she is a companion, she has something to say. She is a human being, she has feelings. So she equally needs to talk, speak out, voice out. She needs to communicate with you. So you need to also understand her own communication style and how she wants the message is delivered. If she says, I don't like it shouting, then try to adjust. And if he says, I don't like you talking down at me, or I don't like you talking to me in the presence of people, then please you to try to adjust, because that is unacceptable to them and they are not going to just listen to you if you keep doing that. So please learn how to communicate in an acceptable manner. So another point is you need to add some form of emotional intelligence to it. How do I mean? Now you need to study the mood of your partner before you go discuss issues or matters with them. Now, your spouse is just coming back from work, they are tired, they are fagged out. You know what they are thinking of is food, rest, and what you are bringing before them is issues, is problems. And this partner is wondering, is she not sensitive? Is he not sensitive? So you want to study their mood. Is this the right mood, to talk? Is this the right mood to discuss this issue with him or with her? Some things are better discussed in the bedroom while on the bed. Maybe you're having sex or something, especially critical matters. It's better you discuss that when your spouse is in a romantic mode, and some things can be discussed when, you guys are just at dinner, at lunch, or breakfast eating, So just try to study the mood of that partner, know the kind of a person that you have as a spouse, study their mood. When they are hungry, it's not the time to go discuss, things that they may find painful to their heart with them, when they don't have money, like when they are broke, may not be the appropriate time to go start discussing, some monetary issues. Well, it may be good to just mention it that, maybe just mention, oh, we need this, we need that. I understand, you don't have the resources now, we don't have the means now to get it, but we do pray and hope that the means will come. I just thought to let you know, but don't make it sound like, he or she does not have the means, and you're still making it sound like, well, I don't care, whichever way, just go get the means for us, even if it means you going to steal to get it done. I mean, just go get the means. No, a lover should not behave like that. I mean, try to be empathetic, try to feel the pain of the other person and communicate in that manner. So learn to be a good communicator with your spouse, because see, if you cannot communicate well with that your partner, they will go out there and look for another good communicator, someone that can speak their language, someone that understands them, that can speak on the same level with them. They will go look for someone else out there that will be communicating with them. And you wouldn't like that, when your partner prefers to go out there to discuss their issues, their pains, the things that trouble them with an outsider, with other people out there, rather than discuss it with you, their spouse. Then there is a problem. There is a problem with your communication. So it is important that you pay attention to that communication. Make sure you're a good communicator in the house. So lastly, part of the importance of good communication is for you to learn the ability to negotiate. See, negotiation skills is very important for communication. Learn to negotiate. See, there are times that both of you would not be on the same level. It's so obvious that, see, on this matter we cannot be on the same level, but learn how to sit down, learn how to deliberate, learn how to negotiate and say, okay, so even though I'm going towards the south and he is going towards maybe the north, on this issue, how can we all, start listening or start considering each other and see if we can meet at the middle ground? That is very important. So that is negotiation. So you now want to start talking about it to say, okay, so how about we doing it like this, so that at least your own interest is covered and his own interest is covered. You both will now start negotiating with each other. See, you cannot be a dictatorial spouse in your marriage and expect that the marriage would go well, or that your spouse will be a happy spouse. No, no dictatorship in marriage. See, it's mutual. It should be mutual respect, mutual communication. Everything should be mutual. So try to do things mutually in agreement. Don't impose your will on the other person. Don't make it look like, it has to be my way, it has to be my will. If it's not your way, you start throwing tantrums, you start making issues out of everything. It shouldn't be like that. Learn to negotiate, learn to talk, learn to reach a middle ground. And I mean, you both can negotiate. Adults should learn to communicate, and we can't overemphasize that in marriage, as it will help you have um, a peaceful marriage, a blissful one, and a happy one for that matter. So I would like to stop here now. I hope you have learned a lot from what I have said. Please do leave us a comment. Click on the like button if you do like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we promise to bring you more interesting video. I remain your host, Malaya.